Hello and welcome to the Strategic Bookkeeper Podcast. I'm pretty excited about this episode. I think it's going to be fun and impactful because we are diving into AI. I know that everybody's in a really different place with AI. Some people haven't really touched the large language models like ChatGPT because AI has been around for a long, long time, right? But in about 2024, things really started to change as we all started to get to know ChatGPT and any of the other what's known as large language models, LLMs, like Claude or Perplexity, Gemini, all the other ones that are around. Personally, as at the recording of this podcast, I just stick with ChatGPT. It's fine. It's great for what it's great for. All the AI large language models are great. They have their flaws, their drawbacks. Like humans, actually. The AI can strangely show up a bit like a human. Anyway, this episode is about AI-powered practice management mastery, how to use AI for smarter bookkeeping practice management, really. But it's also about how and why AI won't fix your practice, but HI-led AI will. So what is HI-led AI? Well, that's kind of the big takeaway I'd like you to get today, as well as how to use AI. I'm really excited because I'm going to give you amazing direction on how to use AI in your practice, end to end, win the work, do the work, practice management mastery, right? But what is HI-led and why is it so important? And really understanding and using this will be game changing for what you get out of AI. I'm going to tell you all about that in the episode. See you in there. I'm Jeannie Savage, the Strategic Bookkeeper. I've been in practice for 14 years, but more importantly, 5 years in, I achieved a lifestyle practice. This means I scaled my business, could take my hands off the wheel, and draw a nice six-figure income while being time rich. And that's what I call my dream on my terms. I was recently awarded Women in Finance Innovator of the Year, recognizing my book, my podcast, my program, and my impact globally. The Strategic Bookkeeper is my life's work, and the opportunity to help bookkeepers globally achieve the income and lifestyle that sets them free absolutely fills my cup. Please do connect with me on socials at the Strategic Bookkeepers Way private Facebook group or shoot me an email, hello@thestrategicbookkeeper.global. Okay, so let's dive into all the AI stuff. First off, HI. HI stands for human intelligence. Now, you may think that human intelligence is like IQ. We're born with it. It doesn't change. And the truth is, I once actually thought that because I'm a really data-driven science girl. For my son, as part of all his assessments when he was very young, I think about 4, we had his IQ done as part of all these things when you've got a special needs child. But actually, even for my stepchildren, they're now 25. When they were young, they were in primary school, we ended up having theirs done as well because one of the university site clinics, they were assessing them. They love twins. They love special needs children. And we had kind of both. So with my stepkids who are twins, they were having some problems at school. We went down to the site clinic of the uni. And as part of all the stuff, they did the IQ tests as well. So I kind of did used to think that intelligence, you're born with it, that's it. But science now knows that absolutely the IQ is a part of the picture, right? For example, spatial reasoning, problem solving, the IQ tells us a lot, but there are other parts of that picture. I guess the moral of that story is that we do actually acquire intelligence, all right? An example of that is you may or may not have heard of the London cab drivers study. So if you haven't, you can Google it. But in a nutshell, that showed us via brain scans that intelligence and actually your brain grows, okay? So you can imagine London cabbies, it was to do with maps and so on. So you can acquire more human intelligence. And when it comes to your bookkeeping practice, okay, bookkeeping practice management around win the work and do the work, you can and you need to acquire a high level of intelligence. And once you've done that, you'll be ready to lead your AI and get really great results out of it. Instead of go in, start using ChatGPT, you have a low level of intelligence around, say, brand marketing and selling for bookkeeping practices, and therefore the outputs are really poor because the HI is not leading the AI appropriately. Okay. Now, you can acquire lots of intelligence around bookkeeping practice management, win the work and do the work, by reading both of my books, by listening to all of my podcasts, by getting the free 2-part training on my website. When I was speaking to one of my tribe a little while ago, I got a lovely phone call from her. And in a nutshell, she had got a really amazing result. So within 12 months, she had built from zero as a startup $200,000 in revenue. She's just got one staff member who works a really small amount of hours. So her take-home pay was well in excess of $100,000 a year. In terms of her acquisition of intelligence around bookkeeping practice management, she had gone from definitely zero and then right through to saying to me she had read my first book 3 times. She turns up to All About Implementers. She's probably done the transformation content 3 times as well and listened to all my podcasts, and she rinses and repeats and rinses and repeats. So that $200,000 result, she did a lot of work for that and earned it and acquired that intelligence to get there, okay? So when we're talking about using AI, it's actually no different to anything else. If you don't invest in your own education, your own human intelligence in this area, the AI is going to be useless. Now, when I say AI, I'm talking about ChatGPT or any other large language models, that's what they're known as, that you choose to use. For example, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, there are lots out there, and they are all very, very, very similar. Now, before we move on to a bit more of how once you acquire that intelligence, how you're then going to use your AI for practice management mastery, I want to tell you a bit about what I've been doing with AI, specifically with the bookkeepers inside my transformation program. So as I'm recording this episode in May 2025, you'll probably get it a fair bit later. I'm batch recording at the moment. But when I opened the doors to my program in 2023, ChatGPT really wasn't a thing. It was probably available, but very, very early days. And AI was really, really coming through, but none of it was really known. Nobody was really using ChatGPT, but it was just about to come in, okay? So then by 2024, ChatGPT started to become more popular. We started to find out about it and so on. That has given me the opportunity to decide to rebuild our transformation program AI-powered. And that is very relevant to HI-led AI. And I want to explain exactly why and how, because whether you join my transformation program or not, this is exactly how you're going to use it. Like if you use my books and my podcast and so on. So thinking about developing your brand and your brand assets with AI, making it HI-led, I'll explain a bit about what I'm doing inside the program to inspire you. So my transformation program is a licensed membership program. And when you come in, you do actually get a done for you brand and you become part of a network. So that is a certified strategic bookkeepers network. You are listed in a directory, you get a certification badge, and you get other really high value, high impact digital assets that give you a competitive advantage, a unique selling proposition, and many other things that really allow you to win work much more easily at much higher rates. And it's all done for you. So within 14 days, you've basically got it all sorted. It integrates with your own brand that you have, or we help you develop, like if you need a business name and a logo and that kind of thing, we help you with that. But if you've already got one, we show you how to integrate all of this in. And the result is that you've got something that would otherwise take a very, very long time to develop, and you're leveraging group power. So group marketing power, group brand power, okay? And elevating yourself as a certified strategic bookkeeper. And as we like to say, fire your bookkeeper, hire a strategic bookkeeper. Okay. So you come in, you get that, and then we give you all the other parts around products and pricing, product ladder, conversion process, audience attraction strategies. And we give you all the copy, like we give you a done for you podcast that pitches strategic bookkeepers. We give you copy to send out fortnightly to your database on that. We give you done for you social media and so on and so on and so on. I might just mention one other thing there. That is the copy for you to do keep in touch stuff. Okay. So an example might be if you have clients or when you have clients, then how to use a process with marketing copyright to convert those clients from basic bookkeeping into strategic bookkeeping and other advisory services and so on, right? So you get this big suite of assets. Now, that's like the HI component. So when you come in and you get all of that, and this explains to you exactly what you need to do, even if you're not joining the program, right? So you come in, you get all of that done for you, all of that intelligence, all of those assets. And now with ChatGPT, for example, being one of the large language models, what we can do, what I can do when I AI power the transformation program is to give my tribe, my bookkeepers, the foundations like the HI, the human intelligence from which to be able to create even more, okay? And to create world-class stuff because it's from a foundation of human intelligence. Now, a really good example is something I'm doing right now as I record this podcast. So in terms of audience attraction, right? I'm looking at the Bookkeeping Practice Blueprint. We drop a copy of this into the show notes every week. So you can grab that if you don't already have it. Now, what I'm referring to is not my book, not my manuscript, but the one pager. So it's a visual representation, like a mind map. So on there, you can see find audience on the right-hand side. We can find audience through existing audience, networking, EAPs, that is Evergreen Advocacy Partnerships. That's partnership marketing, paid and summons. So partnership marketing, or what we call EAPs, is really, really powerful. And inside the transformation program, and even in my first book, I give you tons of stuff around that. But what I'm doing right now with AI is I've chosen 12 potential partners, and I'm currently working with one of them in like a beta testing. And I've got ChatGPT, I've got a custom chat, which I've given all my human intelligence. So literally I load my manuscripts and my documents and my blueprint and all about everything. And then that custom chat builds out what I need with me. So with the partnerships, using what we have in the transformation program, I built out some new email scripts, also what I would call email sales pages. Now, I have had to teach ChatGPT what an email sales page is and what it looks like. And let me tell you, that was hard work. It was like pulling teeth. And that's an example of when the AI didn't understand that on its own. It couldn't do it on its own unless I have a really high level of understanding around what an email sales page is. It's not going to be able to build it. Even when I tried to tell it, it kept mucking up and not really understanding it. So it took me a long time. So again, the moral of this story is the better the HI, the better the human intelligence, the better the AI. The worse the human intelligence on this subject, on bookkeeping practice management mastery, the worse the output. Okay, the more mistakes, the more trial and error, the more time falling over before one day you find the success. So I've built out some new templates, and I've gone to one of like a business buddy, and I've caught up with her and I showed her everything, and she's agreed to send an email to her database. So she runs a digital marketing agency. She services clients all over Australia where my bookkeeping practice is. And she is going to send her database an email giving them a high value gift from me. In this case, it's a Better in Business toolkit. All these things are inside the program, right? So we're doing that. And then she's also going to get us to come in for lunchtime workshops and present some of our material in lunchtime workshops. Okay. Then I have 12 partners that I can potentially do this with, and I'm testing it all. Now, the reason I've been testing this is I'm imagining being a student inside my transformation program, learning how to use AI with a basis of what's inside the transformation program to create something new. okay? Or to create just a new email sales page, how to take that to a partner, right? So where previously before ChatGPT, we didn't have this beautiful little assistant that we could use with the HI there, then I used to have to serve up a lot more of it just with my own hard work and my own hustle, okay? Now inside the program, I can teach bookkeepers how to take what I already teach them and then use AI with that human intelligence to create something else tailored to the partner that they found, and so on and so on and so on. The other really good example I'll give you inside the program. So at the time of recording this podcast, we've already decided internally that we were AI powering the transformation program, but it is mind-blowing to me the extra value that we get to provide because of this beautiful tool, okay? Inside the transformation program, we give you like a business health check to provide your client. So that's like a welcome line nurture asset. If you don't know what that is, well, then your human intelligence on that subject is low because maybe you haven't read my first book. If you have, you definitely know what a welcome line nurture asset is, also known as a lead magnet. But this business health check, it's created to use with both prospective clients and clients in the client attraction process and the sales process in order to find on board clients without price as a priority. It's one of about 10 primary ones you get inside the program right now. With AI, I can now teach my tribe how to create more quizzes, which is what the health check is, how to create more high-value quizzes to use with prospective clients, and even how to do it when micro-niching into tradies, into graphic designers, into architects, whatever niche they are. If they end up looking at a niche or a micro-niche particularly, how to create a different kind of business health check or quiz that works as a high value, high impact welcome line nurture asset. So again, taking what I give them in the program, but AI powering it, okay? So now that I've shared those examples with you and a really lovely insight into what's happening inside the transformation program being AI powered, by the time I air this podcast, we may have already fully AI powered it, okay? You can check in with us. But now I just want to talk about, you've got the 3 A's to change, right? Awareness, acceptance, action. I've made you aware that AI will only work for your bookkeeping practice if it is HI led, okay? So the next phase is acceptance. If you are accepting of that, if you think, okay, that makes total sense and it's relevant to everything, right? You've heard of the saying, if you think it's expensive dealing with a professional, try dealing with an amateur, right? This is what it's like working with AI. You need to be the professional. You need to be the expert that's leading it. So you're going to increase your expertise through education. And then we're on to action. So awareness, acceptance, and action. In terms of action, you absolutely need to go out and acquire that education. If you haven't already, I do recommend you start with my 2 books, my podcast, and my free training. Okay, you're welcome to join us inside the transformation program anytime. And then once you've done that, go into ChatGPT or your preferred large language model and use a combination of just your general chat. So if I'm in ChatGPT, I use it on my phone and on my computer. As at recording this, you can't work with the custom chats on the phone app, but on my PC I can. So on the phone, I use just the general chats a lot. But when I want to do some intensive work around brand marketing and selling, I've got a range of custom chats, which are easy enough to build, that I work with on my PC. And that's what I recommend you do too. So for example, I've got one that I've built out for my bookkeeping practice around brand marketing and selling. And actually, when I was developing those new partnership scripts that I told you about a moment ago, I worked with the custom chat and I trained the custom chat while we were developing them. And then I have got a custom chat for the Strategic Bookkeeper, brand marketing and selling. And I've got personal custom chats too. I've got one for our family to help me think of really fun activities I can do to spend time with my son. I love ChatGPT. So with your human intelligence, you can now go into ChatGPT and develop those custom chats in order to round out whatever you need to round out from the bookkeeping practice blueprint. So a really, really good example if you're in the program. And after that, I'm going to give you an example if you're not in my program. So inside the program, a lot of the stuff we've done for you, but let's say in products and pricing. So you've got our products and pricing suite, which is fantastic. But let's say you want to develop a slightly different product, then ChatGPT is going to be great. So one of our tribe members, let's call her Sally. Sally would load into ChatGPT all of our products and pricing templates, or she could load 1 or 2 or 3 key ones. And I've actually did this recently. You could tell ChatGPT, okay, this is the template and the framework that we use. Now I want to create a new product. Give ChatGPT clear instructions about the basis of the product, and then get it to create the product with what you've told it in mind, okay? Now, if you're not inside my program, you may have to build your brand and your brand assets from the ground up. So you're going to use my books, and you are going to ChatGPT, and you're going to use what you've learned to get ChatGPT to help you build out your brand, your organization personality, your vision, your mission, your secret sauce recipe, and so on. And then you're going to get ChatGPT to help you to develop your brochure, your social media, your web designer, your video sales letter. All of these things you will build from the ground up by working with ChatGPT to do it. So that's where you've been educated. Then you'll get ChatGPT to help you build the assets. Then you'll need to implement those assets in the market, get market feedback. And that market feedback is oftentimes, can you build a pipeline? And of the inquiries that come through, how many convert into clients with a robust products and pricing system at very, very, very high rates, even when you're twice your competitor. So if you can onboard new inquiries, 80% of them into clients at very, very high rates. We saw one of my tribe did a first sale for $10,000. We did a podcast called The 5-Figure Sale. When you can do that, when you can prove that you can do that, that's your market feedback, right? That's the implementation part. And in terms of team and support, well, you're now putting ChatGPT on your team. Because just there, I was rinsing and repeating on that 5-step methodology that we use, that you should use: education, assets, implementation, team, and support. Now, in terms of using AI, particularly ChatGPT, to help you in your practice build out what you need for practice management mastery, the same applies to everything that you're doing, including standard operating procedures. As long as it is HI-led, you are much more likely to get good outcomes than when you're coming to it with a low level of expertise around all things practice management mastery, from win the work to do the work. So we're at the end of this episode. I feel like it was a big one. If you have any questions on AI for bookkeepers, I'm happy to take them. Just shoot me an email and I'll see you in the next episode. Okay, my friend, now it is time to take action. So what are you going to do with what you learned today? The way I see it, you've got 2 options. You can go it alone to try and save some money, or you can back yourself and go for it and join my tribe. And let me tell you, we are knocking it out of the ballpark. That's not a sales pitch. That is me serving you, dare I say, courageously. To find success, I 100% know you need the mechanics, which is like the keys to the kingdom, but you also need to get your mindset right and be super productive. And these are all things I help you with inside the program. I could go on about this forever because I really want this for you. Have a prosperous week, and I'll see you in the next episode.